You are magnificent, amazing, and incredible. When was the last time somebody told you that? Has somebody ever told you that? As a mum, you're labouring away every day doing all this tough stuff, and it's totally invisible, and you become invisible. I am going to spend the next 3 weeks not being invisible at all and showing up here talking about being a mum and some of my stories about motherhood. When I had my first baby, I remember going to this wedding when she was like tiny, like this little scrap of 3 weeks old, and I couldn't even go inside the wedding. I was like a washed out, limp piece of rag by the time I arrived, because we'd been going down the motorway at like 80 miles an hour with this tiny little being, this life in the back of the car, and I was terrified, absolutely terrified. And it didn't really help that I think we had the car seat the wrong way around. It was really early days. And so I couldn't actually go into the church because I had to feed the baby, and it was all so new. And at that point, I just didn't have a clue I was going. I mean, was it even appropriate to feed a baby in church? No idea. Anyway, I still don't really know, is it? It should be. I think I did give it a go, but I did not feel comfortable whopping my boob out in front of the vicar. So I went and stood outside with the baby. You spend the first few months going like this, and then you have another one, and you spend years going like this. Anyway, I was standing outside doing that, and another mum came out, and she just said, I was like, oh God, what's she gonna say? She goes, you think it's hard now? Wait till the toddler phase. Oh my God, I was nearly in a puddle on the floor at that moment. Everything felt so hard. Like, do you remember those newborn days? I'm nearly 21 years into this. My newborn from then is almost 21. And it's tough. I mean, I had days when I just felt like chucking her out the window. But that woman, turned out she was actually right. Motherhood does kind of get harder. And then it gets a little bit easier. You know, they start going to school and they start having conversations with you and that kind of thing. And it's a bit more fun, and you can do crafts and things like that. Well, I really enjoyed that. And you get through, and you get them in nursery, you get them in school. You begin to get your career back on track. And then you think, wow, hey, I got this. Yeah, it's never good to be too smug, is it really? Because then the teenage years happen. And when I say the teenage years, it's quite nebulous, like when it actually starts. One of mine started her teen phase around 10. And, you know, I've heard that quite a lot from women I'm speaking to. Like, it can be 10 years old, depends on the old hormones. But it's that moment, like when I was on holiday, it was actually our final family holiday before the big breakup. And up until that point, we'd been in that situation of, who wants to go to the beach? who wants to play with a piece of fluff in their navel? Yay! You know, like anything. Yay! So exciting. But on this occasion, I went, who wants to go to the lake? Because we went by this beautiful lake in Switzerland. Who wants to go to the lake? And I got, this sound, it was like I've never even heard this sound before. And suddenly it's like, yeah, body language. I don't know. I can't quite get it. But the era had changed suddenly. And I knew my life was going to change. And it did. Not quite in ways that I had envisaged, but I'm going to be telling you more about that as we go along. The point of doing these videos is, what is the point? Well, this is my brain fog brain, the wonderful menopause brain. The point, I think mothers are magnificent and amazing and wonderful. I know that you are. Anyone who's watching my videos must be amazing. And the thing is, it's like when I came out of my marriage, I knew I had confidence. I knew I would be good. I had to support myself financially after 12 years being a full-time mum and doing, like, you know, itty-bitty jobs and running circles and writing a book and starting a vegetarian cookery school. Yeah, okay, so I did a few things, but I just knew that I was going to be good. I knew that everything was going to work out fine. I'd rebuilt my life before, right? I've done this before. I'm going to be fine. Went out there in the job market and like nothing. It was like tumbleweed. Because after 12 years of motherhood, I was basically considered to be right at the bottom of the pile, despite my degree and postgraduate qualification, my years of experience as a social worker, lecturer, etc. We'll go into that. Yeah, the only job I got offered was as a cleaner, which, like, fine, I'm not too snobby to do cleaning. I've done it. I had a cleaning company. But not at that point in my life. And it wasn't really what I needed to support 4 children. So we are here to look at your fabulousness, have some fun, and consider, like, who do you want to be? Who are you creating for this third act of yours? Because motherhood can submerge us. You can get caught up, not just motherhood, like your career and work. Somehow you feel you've outgrown it. And you're in this phase of teenagers where they're going through their hormonal piece, you're going through your hormonal bit, and you're both pretty ragey, probably got a few spots, both of you, and like it's like this inferno in the middle, and you're thinking, like, where have I gone? Who am I now? Like, all these symptoms, and what do I do with it? So we're going to be looking at that. We're going to be finding a way through, looking at some stories and some fun. And at the end of that, there's going to be a chance to get together with a bunch of fabulous mums to show you the route. I'm going to show you the way through from the Sodon mum to the elemental woman, who is a force to be reckoned with. And I can't wait to see how these videos are going to pan out. And I can't believe I'm so perky at 7 o'clock in the morning. Now I need to find the off button. There we go.